Hey there, witches, magic makers, and movers and shakers of YouTube. My name is Shane, and welcome back to my channel, as the case may be. Today I wanted to talk about something that comes up in magical circles, magical conversation quite frequently, and that's the idea that someone might be under a curse, or has been hexed, or someone is working baneful magic against them. And the reason I say this comes up kind of frequently is for a few reasons. So first of all, a lot of my friends are, similarly minded and are magical practitioners of one tradition or another, or several. And so, it's just a theoretical conversation that comes up sometimes. I also spend a lot of time on the internet. I'm a Twitter fiend. You can find me at same handle, Artemis NYC, if you don't follow me already. And I interact with a lot of beginner witches or newer witches, or, the internet is calling them baby witches. Some of them are calling themselves baby witches, and have kind of adopted the moniker, in an empowering way for themselves, which a lot of us have mixed feelings about, but whatevs. Sometimes they'll reach out or they'll comment on my posts or my tweets. I worked in a metaphysical store for 2 years when I was in college, and people used to come in all the time and say, I think I'm under a curse, or how do I protect myself from curses? How do I protect myself from people working, baneful magic against me? And I think another reason that's a popular question is, okay, we've all experienced a rash of just really piss poor luck, right? All of us in our lives hit a stride where absolutely nothing was going right in our lives. I'm in the middle of one right now. And that's kind of what partially inspired me to make this video today. So the past couple of months have just been an absolute shit show where I have fielded one crisis after another after another. Some of them have been mine, and some of them have just been kind of adjacent to me, whether it's something going on with my assistant at work, or my roommate, or my siblings, or whatever. It started out with some health challenges, and then shit really went off the rails at work. Things kind of went awry at school. Major equipment at my job broke down, major things around the home broke down, and it was just one thing after another, after another, after another, right? To the point where, and then it kind of culminated in last week when somebody hit my car in a parking lot, and I kind of flew off the handle, and I called one of my best friends, and I was like, I don't believe in this notion of being under a curse, but holy shit, like, maybe it's time I revise my stance on that, right? Because like I said, it's just, and everyone hits that point where it's just too much. There are too many things. They happen too close in succession to each other. And people start to say, I think I'm under a hex. I think I'm under a curse. I think somebody put, how does my dad put it? My father doesn't believe in magic. He's a Christian, and he doesn't like any of this. And he said, what does he say? It's great. So somebody put the horns on me. He's a delight. But, and here's what I have to say about that. No one has cursed you. You're not that important, right? And I know that's kind of an unpopular opinion. And I don't mean that in a self-deprecating way, because it applies to me too, right? No one's cursed me. I'm not that important. When you experience a rash of absolutely terrible luck and it seems like nothing is going right, there's probably a couple of other explanations why that could be. Before we look for, an evil magical practitioner at the root cause of it, there are probably a lot of other simpler solutions, right? What's that theory that says, the simplest solution is probably the correct one? Is that Occam's razor? I'm not sure. But there's a number of things that could be going on there before you automatically jump to, I'm under a hex. And again, the reason for that is you're not that cool. unless you make a point of going around and pissing off as many people as you possibly can, and I know some people like that because, again, I work in customer service, unless you make a habit out of making people angry and making enemies out of them, no one is targeting you. No one is working baneful magic on you. No one is expending that much time of their own time and energy and thought and effort on you. You just don't mean that much to them. And what I mean by that is, again, I've worked in customer service for over a decade and a half. And so I no longer believe in the fundamental goodness of humanity, right? But I also don't believe that people are fundamentally evil either. Most people are not out there to help you and to love you and to see you succeed. But the other side of that coin is most people are not out there to wish you harm or want to see you fail or are actively hurting you. Most people are just really super concerned about themselves. They're just, focused inward. They're focused on their own hustle and their own lives and their own dramas. And that's cool. Stay off their radar. I think most people are self-centered in a way that I can say that now without any value judgment. But people are really just on their own shit. And they are not taking time out of their busy day to curse you. They're not taking time out of their busy day to curse me. I lead a team of about 22 employees or so at the moment. And a lot of times, they'll have an unpleasant interaction with a customer, and the customer will leave, and 10 minutes later, 5 minutes later, 15 minutes later, my employee is still upset about it. And they're like, I can't believe she said that. I can't believe he did that. I can't believe they were so rude. I can't believe, and they're getting themselves worked up. And I have to pull them aside and say, hey, that guest, they got their order and they got in their car and they drove away. And I guarantee you, they're not thinking about you anymore. But you're still thinking about them, which means they won this round, right? So don't let them live rent-free in your head. Let it go, Otherwise, you're giving them a measure of power over you. And, I've been on the other side of that, and it's, quite honestly, easier said than done. But I believe that applies in a magical context as well. Even when you've pissed someone off, even if you've had an unpleasant interaction with someone, even if you know for a fact that they're a fellow magical practitioner, 5 minutes later, they're probably not thinking about you. They did not spend the rest of the day scheming and plotting to go home and do some work on you. By the time they got home, 112 other thoughts came into their head and you were forgotten about. So I'm not under a curse because I'm not that cool, and neither are you. But again, that being said, there could be a number of other reasons that you're hitting a stride of bad luck. I'll start with the most unpopular opinion first. Sometimes it's your fault. And again, that comes from a place of love. It doesn't come from a place of judgment. Sometimes you're not doing the things you're supposed to be doing and you know it. You can't pay a bill 3 months late and think that, that problem's just going to go away on its own, because it doesn't. You can't goof off at work and not do the things you're supposed to do at work and think that you're, never going to get written up or get other corrective action or get fired or not at least, draw the attention of a supervisor to your poor performance or your poor work ethic. You can't, skip out on class, not do your homework, decide you're going to go out and hang out with your friends instead of studying. And then, when it comes time for exams and you don't do so hot, and I could go on with the examples, right? But a lot of it comes from avoidance and not doing the things that you're supposed to be doing. And you know it good and goddamn well. But then when it comes time to pay the piper and you get fired or you get your, electricity or your phone bill turned off or you fail that class or whatever else happens, And you're like, I can't believe all this bad luck. I must be under a curse. Yes, the curse is called, you done fucked up. Handle your business. Handle your stuff. There's a great meme that one of my closest friends and I share back and forth with a lot of Schadenfreude. So it says, I've finally found it after 15 years. The scroll of truth. And he opens it to reveal the words, some of your problems are your own fault. And he goes, yeah, and throws it. Love it. And that is the only editing trick I know, right? Putting a still photo in something and like maybe doing a voiceover, that's it. That's the one editing trick. So congratulations, you're going to see a lot of that. But yeah, so that's one possibility is, sometimes things are your fault. And like I said, I know that's not, it doesn't feel good. And it's not, I don't say this to lecture anybody because the gods alone know. I'm just as guilty of it as the next dude, right? And I know that's not as sexy as believing that you're under a curse, but probability-wise, that's usually the answer, kids. There's also, behind door number 2, it may not be your fault. Sometimes it's just your turn. The universe has a infinite amount of shit to hand out. And sometimes it's just your day to draw the short straw. Okay? Sometimes that car hits your car in the parking lot just because you happen to be there at the wrong place at the wrong time. It was your day to get shit on. Some days you're the bug, some days you're the windshield, right? It's just your turn, honey. I'm sorry. It happens. It happens. That's just the random happenstance of the universe. Sometimes you just get shafted. And again, not as sexy as thinking that you're under a hex, but a lot more likely. Behind door number 3, you could be attracting and picking up some not so delicious, not so beneficial things. Especially, and I tweeted this a few days ago, especially if your magical hygiene isn't what it should be. So we're getting a little bit closer to what most people would like to believe, that someone's out there just, working tons of malefica on them. But if you have, not so great habits, right? I'm a little lazy. So, if you don't cleanse as often as you should, if you don't ground yourself as often as you should, if you're not in the habit of centering yourself, if you don't have a good relationship with any kind of protective guides or deities or, spirits or whatever it is that you work with, whatever you believe in, ancestors, angels, whatever. Again, if you don't know any grounding techniques, if you raise a lot of energy and do a lot of magic and send a lot of power shooting out here, there, and everywhere, and you don't know how to ground that properly and put it to bed, don't call up anything you can't put down, right? If you don't keep yourself clean, if you don't keep your home clean, if you don't keep your magical space clean, and, if you don't perform, like I said, regular cleansings and clear that stuff out, it's not that, you're attracting the attention of something oogie and boogie and scary. It's just that magic makes you sticky, and sometimes things stick to you, right? Like, it really is that simple. It's not, there's some demon or entity that's going to be drawn to you because you've sent out an astral beacon. Again, not that sexy. Sometimes it's just, when you're doing magic, you're making yourself a little Velcro-y, and random things will float by and stick to you. So it's good to practice your fundamentals and all that magical hygiene stuff, grounding, centering, cleansing. You don't have to be paranoid about it, but you just get yourself at a good regimen, right? Like, I bet you brush your teeth at least once a day. I bet you take the garbage out of your house or your apartment at least once a week or twice a week. I bet you shower, every day or every other day, every couple days, or whatever you need, right? So you just get into a good habit of magical hygiene too. And whatever that looks like for you. 5 minutes of focused breathing at the end of every day, or, adding some intent to your shower or your bath. And then lastly, assuming we've gone through all of the other options and you still feel like, no, something's up, there is plenty of protective magic that you can do, to protect your space, to protect yourself, if you really think that there's a chance that someone out there is doing something to you, whether on purpose or even accidentally. One of the best bits of protective magic I've ever been taught is the traditional, witch's bottle. If you guys are interested and want to learn how to make a witch's bottle for protection, please leave me a comment. Let me know that that's the sort of thing you'd like to see. We can do a little tutorial. We'll have some fun. I did want to mention a few, closing words, that not all of my videos are this kind of ranty, unpopular opinion, get off my lawn, type of, angsty commentary. A lot of them are, but not all of them. We do other fun stuff. I'd like to do some seasonal crafts and bake some traditional recipes for the Sabbats, and, get some of my friends on here and, kind of talk about some fun things and do a Would You Rather, Witchcraft edition or whatever. I don't know. I have some fun ideas in the works. So it's not all going to be, me bitching about the younger generation or whatever. I just feel like since I'm getting my gallbladder out next week, that it just kind of qualifies me for this stage of my life where I just kind of shake my cane or walker at people in impotent rage. But to all my new subscribers, I just wanted to say thank you so much for all the love and support that you have shown me. Please stick around and continue to watch and hit like and share and subscribe. Turn on that little bell for notifications. All the things. Do all the things. But really, a very, very warm welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I love to talk about witchcraft and related topics, and I like to keep it real. And I like to have people to bounce things off of. So thanks for being here. I know a lot of you are here, you've said because Thorn Mooney sent you. And I feel really, really blessed and humbled that she kind of took the time out to share my last video and to have such kind words for me. So for those of you who found me in a roundabout way because of Thorn or because of other people that kind of shared my work, again, just welcome, and I'll see you next time, and take care of yourselves and each other.